Hello, and welcome to this Darn Busters cold morning taste challenge. Well, I see daylight just starting to creep in there, and I already went walking half a mile, and boy, it was cold, 35 degrees on November 11th, 2025. That's very cold at this time of the year in Louisiana. It's more like December weather, but obviously, but it is what it is. I have two 40% alcohol tequila products, meaning tequila with natural flavors. They're not true tequilas. And this was a confusing thing for me for a while. And I called Buffalo Trace about it. I say Buffalo Trace, I dialed the number that said Sazerac Company, but Buffalo Trace answered the phone because that's where it's directed. And they didn't seem, the representative didn't really seem to know how to explain it. You'll notice these have no NOM number, no NOM, no Numero Origin Mexico, because they're not true tequilas. They're tequilas with natural flavoring. They ship the tequila to Kentucky in bulk. And then they add some kind of flavorings, flavors, plural, to the product, and they blend them together in some huge machine, I guess. Then they bottle them and sell them. So you might be thinking, didn't you just do El Toro earlier today or tonight? I did, but I did the El Toro Silver Tequila, no flavoring added. It may have been totally replaced by this new product at some point in history, recent history. Here's Bandolero, introduced in 1987. It's not called Bandolero Tequila. It's called Bandolero Silver Tequila with natural flavors. And that is what these are. Technically, they're distilled spirit specialties. They don't quite fit the category of what they should fit. So they have that catch-all category. But they'll be in the tequila section. There's no section that I know of at the liquor stores called distilled spirit specialties. Maybe at some really careful liquor stores, but no. I bought this at Star in Kenner, Louisiana, $5.99. Now I know why I bought it, because Albertsons, Safeway company, Bonds, Shaw's, Julasco, they got rid of this size glass bottle, regular size bottle. They replaced it they only sell it now in the big plastic handle bottles. And so they authorize it to be sold off to independent stores just to get rid of it. $5.98, can't complain. Now this is, like I said, the El Toro, and I bought this at it was either Discount Depot or Savannah Discount in Marrero, Louisiana. That's across the river in Jefferson Parish on the west bank of the Mississippi River. And I could tell it was different than the regular El Toro Silver Tequila. And I bought it. Does it taste much different? Not really. This is a liter bottle, and it was about $7.99. I think the regular El Toro I paid $8.99, and then this one was $7.99. It was something like that, but they were very close, and that's very cheap for a liter glass, both glass. Okay. No website for El Toro. If you go to Total Wine and buy the regular bottle, the 750 milliliter, it has a little sombrero cap, a little red twist cap that people claim is the size of a shot glass, which is probably true. Okay, I can show you the Albertsons website for Bandolero. I'd like to find out if they had an older label years ago. So they got the silver and the gold. They're both on sale, $15.99. I've already done the gold in taste challenges. So there it is. Got just like a skeleton leading a party of whatever. Producto Especial. And that's right. It's a special product. Tequila with natural flavors. If you read the government regulations, tequila is not allowed to have flavoring. You can read the chart. Tequila, flavoring allowed, and it's checked no. So it's not sold as a tequila. It's sold as a special product. But, you know, that's Obviously, a very technical difference. There's the back of the bottle where the handle is, where you can grab it. But it is a difference. It is now, if we go to the Albertsons companies down here, we can simply click on one of their stores, assuming they sell liquor. Now, not all grocery stores in every state are allowed to sell liquor, but let's go to I don't know about Jewel Osco. That might not be allowed. Let's go to Safeway, since they technically own the trademark. I don't know where Safeway is located. I don't think there's any in Louisiana. There's a store called Sureway, and I don't know anything about Sureway grocery stores, except that they have one in Grand Isle, Louisiana. And for a small village, really not even a town, but for a small town, we'll call it a town, it's a decent store, for a sort of a resort town. Not that many people live there. A lot of people go there for vacation. Okay, let's see. Bandolero Tequila. Yeah, they got it. Let's see what they show. 5100 Broadway. I don't know where that's located. There you go. Oh no! Look at the price. $18.99. Wow. I don't know what state this is, but I don't want to be there. That's a $3 jump. That's not cool. But you see, different states got different prices. If I go to Shaw's, I bet you to be $12.99. You notice it's the same format on every website, exactly the same everything. It just got a different name. They may not sell liquor there. I don't know anything about Shaw. Bandolero. Well, it's showing it. Nope. No liquor there. They don't sell liquor. Got Chi-Chi's salsa. Yeah, I should have gone to Vons. Isn't that a California grocery chain owned by Albertsons? Okay, I'm going to try to hurry up. I don't want to take too much time with this, but it is interesting to look at it. Bandolero. Well, looks like California's getting the bad. $18.99. Oh, yikes. Well, so Louisiana wins out on this one because we're getting it for $15.99, not $18.99. So it is good to shop around. Now, I'm not saying go from state to state, but you know what I mean. No, but to shop around. This is the competitor, so I'll put it in the competitor glass. If you live in an area that's on the state line, like Kansas City, Missouri, well, yeah, it would make sense jumping state to state to shop because you might be driving 2 miles. That would make sense. But I have to drive 70 miles to get to Mississippi. I think that's how far it is. Maybe further, but I think it's like 70. So not close. Obviously, a lot of Arkansas people drive to Missouri. Like if they live close to the state line, they'll hop across the state line, go to Missouri. First thing you see when you cross into Missouri is liquor stores. If you go to Arkansas, as soon as you cross that state line, hugging the line, I mean literally feet from the state line, the border, whatever you want to call it, are liquor stores, all in Missouri. That's telling me that Missouri has much more favorable liquor regulations. And all the license plates in the parking lot will say Arkansas, or most of them. Now, do they have liquor stores in Arkansas? Sure, here or there. But you're going to get the better deal in Missouri, common sense. Now, I noticed in Texas, when you cross the street, because if you go to Texarkana, the state line is in the middle of the main street called State Line Boulevard. One side of the street It's 4 lanes, 2 lanes going north, 2 lanes going south. Boulevard or an avenue. I don't know. One goes north, south, one goes east, west. Apparently, I don't know that much about that. One side of the street, restaurants, grocery stores, Texas. The other side of the street, every 2 or 3 blocks, is a liquor store, Arkansas. So that's telling me Arkansas got better deals on liquor than Texas, because why would they have all the liquor stores on the Arkansas side? Obviously, there's a reason for that. And I went to a couple, and they were very nice. Couldn't complain. I even bought some stuff at I think it's called Vintage Liquors in Texarkana. Beautiful store. Not big, but really well done. Same thing in Louisiana. You cross the state line from Mississippi to Louisiana, boom, first thing you see, liquor store or grocery store, which they always sell liquor. Nothing in Mississippi, and all the license plates will say Mississippi. So that's the story. So if you're a state and you want to have really strict liquor laws, fine, do it. Makes no difference to me. Just make sure you're not next door to a state with liberal liquor laws. I mean liberal in the classic sense, not the modern Marxist-Leninist sense. I'm talking about the classic liberal sense. Then you are going to lose tax revenue to that state. Missouri's getting all the tax revenue for liquor that Arkansas is not getting. Louisiana's getting all the tax revenue from Texas and Mississippi and Southern Arkansas. Good. That's a benefit for us, I guess, unless they're wasting the tax money, and not a benefit for the restrictive states. So there you go. Clear. Clear. Looks like vodka, rum, tequila, silver. They're all about the same in appearance, or they are the same. Now, if you cross from Mississippi to Alabama, you don't see any difference, because Mississippi is a very restrictive state. Alabama is a very restrictive state. Alabama to Georgia, no difference, because they're very restrictive. Georgia to Florida, Alabama, Florida, no difference, because they're all restrictive states, and you don't benefit going from one to the other. I mean, there might be a sale. You could, if you live in, there's a town on the state line between Florida and Alabama, like half the towns in Alabama, half's in Florida, that kind of thing. Or just like Bristol, Tennessee, Bristol, Virginia, same situation. So yeah, of course you could go back and forth to shop because you're not going anywhere. When I went to Bristol, Tennessee, Bristol, Virginia, I couldn't even tell which state I was in. Where the hotel was located, the motel was located in an area I couldn't really tell what state. It was so confusing. But they're both restrictive, so it makes no difference. Alabama, Florida, both restrictive. So Louisiana benefits, Missouri benefits, you get it. Now, I think California, Nevada wouldn't matter, because I think Nevada is very open-ended on, wide open on liquor. Don't know about Arizona. Never explored that place. Not for liquor. I explored it for nature. Historic sites, things like that. Nature trails and so forth. Don't know about Missouri. New York, pretty restrictive. New Jersey, highly restrictive. Maryland, maybe the most. I think you can only buy beer, wine, and liquor in a liquor store in Maryland. You go to a grocery store, there's no alcohol. They got a total monopoly in Maryland on liquor sales. Beer, wine, and liquor. But once again, I said it makes no difference to me. If I lived there, yeah, it would make a difference to me. Okay. And when I go driving through Maryland, it makes a difference, because I have to, I'll always be exploring beer and stuff, and I have to, you got to make sure it's a liquor store. You're just wasting your time parking at a grocery. Assuming unless you're looking for groceries. Okay, Joe Cobb in Canada says, morning, Ron. Morning to you, Joe. Now, do I expect much difference from these two? No, I expect no difference, actually. Reason being, you say, well, that one's from Barton and that one's from Brookstone Distilling. Yeah. Go and research who owns Barton and who owns Brookstone, and you'll realize it's the same company. Sazerac, Buffalo Trace. Almost all of their tequila comes from the same company in Mexico. Their contractor, Gonzalez and Gonzalez, NOM 1142. They're both 40% alcohol. They're both tequilas with natural flavors. Could they be the same product with different bottle design, different labels? They got the same bottle design. Yeah, it's very likely. Very likely. Now, they told me on the phone, we never, listen carefully, they told me on the phone last year or year before last, the lady, it was a lady this time, she said Buffalo Trace never repackages the same bourbon with a different label. Each of our bourbons, notice she said bourbon only. She never said blended whiskey, rum, tequila, gin. Okay, she was very specific. We never repackage our bourbons in a different label. It's like William Kepler says, it's not what they say. It's a lot of times what they don't say that gives you a lot of information. Snow has been coming down decently here. I got snow tires on those, so I'm all good. It's kind of crazy when you look into it, how many of these products come from the same place. Same place. Same thing with beer. You say, oh, this beer's this beer's that. Oh, well, let me tell you about this beer. Okay, go ahead. I do the same thing. Then you say, well, golly, they're all coming from St. Louis, Missouri. Yeah. But this one says Stella Artois, St. Louis, Missouri. You know, this one says Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. This one says Beck's Brewery of St. Louis, Missouri. But yeah. Yep. And yes, the English language has a lot of little intricacies smart people use to not necessarily lie, but not tell you exactly what you want to know. Right. They're not lying. I'm not claiming that Buffalo Trace lied to me. They didn't lie. They were just very careful in what they said. Very detailed explanation. We never repackage our bourbons by just putting a different label on it with the same bourbon. She said each of our bourbons are a distinct recipe. Okay, fair enough. But she only mentioned bourbon, nothing else. So there's your kind of like your answer, you know. It's like in World War II, maybe the German army or the German police come to your house. Are you hiding Jews in this house? You say, do you think I would do something like that? Why would you ask me a question like this? Well, we're checking, I don't understand this question. This is, blah, blah, you go on and on. But then you notice you never answered the question. You didn't lie. You didn't say no. You didn't say yes. You redirected what they were saying. You just answered it with a question. Do you think I would do something like this? They never asked you what they thought you would do. They asked you a specific question, but that's how people could avoid lying, but dodge the question. You see, they didn't lie. They said, do you think I would do that? Now, even that statement distinctly just means slightly different. Mash bill might be nearly the same, but different. That's definitely the case because Buffalo, almost said Buffalo Bill. Yeah, Buffalo Bill has a Western show. No, Buffalo Trace has 2 mash bills. He said, but they got 200 different bourbons. That's right. Something like that. They got 2 mash bills. But you see, you can change it up. You could say, well, this one's 40%. This other one is the same mash bill, but it's 42%. This one's aged 3 years, but the other one is aged 4 years. It's the same thing, but one has more water added to bring down the proof. The other one has less water added. The other one went 3 years. The other one went 4 years. So now they can say, it's not the same product. It's virtually the same, but it's not the same. You see, that's how you get her. And Jim Beam does the same thing. They got this and that, this and that, this and that, this and that, all these things. Then you look into it, it's like almost the same thing. And yeah, people have been using language to their advantage for a long time. Part of being human, I guess. And if you notice, a lot of politicians or head coaches for sports teams, which is sort of like a politician, people will say, he lied. He said he had no plans to leave Alabama. He didn't lie. He said he had no plans to leave Alabama. Now, the next day, he made plans. Now, a lie would be saying, I've never, or a lie would be, I am never going to leave Alabama as a head coach until I retire permanently from coaching. Can you quit and go somewhere else? Now, that was a lie. Like LSU coach one time said, I will never leave LSU. About a month later, he went to Army to be the head coach. Okay. They usually say things like, I'm happy here. I'm happy at Iowa. You know, are you looking into leaving to another team? I'm happy at Iowa. Sure, he is happy making good money, but he might be happier at Southern California. You see, so these coaches are careful, man, and politicians are the same way. They'll say, are you going to run for president? I have no plans to do that. I have no plans to do that. But I might make a plan in 10 minutes. Okay. Now you can pin them down and say, have your agents been talking to the other team? I'm not here to discuss that question. Yeah, I say, well, then now you know the answer. You notice I didn't talk about the aroma. Didn't smell like anything. Over here, it's nothing. It's like you poured a glass of water and you smelled that. Assuming the water is not tainted or anything. Some of these waters sulfurous, you know, smell like eggs, but just smell like water, like nothing. The flavor here is a little peppery, a little agave. I don't perceive the flavoring, okay? These are designed that way. They're designed to where you taste it and it tastes like silver tequila. Not you taste it and you say, oh, this tastes like a vanilla candy, a vanilla bar, a zero, that white chocolate bar. It's not made to be like that. They tweaking it with flavoring probably to make it to where you can tolerate it. You know, without the flavoring, it might be a little rough, a little too vegetable. Like I noticed that with the unflavored El Toro, it was very vegetative, like really, it's agave, but it was like kind of strong, and that might turn people off. And maybe they found out it was turning people off. So they just quietly started adding flavoring. They didn't make an announcement, from now on, we're going to add flavoring to all our low-end products. No, they just subtly changed the label and added the flavoring, which they do have to disclose on the label. That is required in this case. Yeah, it's not tequila to be savored. It's stuff people take shots of on summer break or spring break. Exactly. You know as well as I do that these are not connoisseur tequilas. Nobody's going to go to a tasting in New Orleans or Orlando, Florida, and they're going to say, oh, we're going to have a tequila tasting. It's only $25 a ticket. If you buy your ticket online early, and you're going to go there and they're going to have El Toro and Bandolero, people would be in an uproar on that. You go to an inexpensive Mexican restaurant, that'll be on the shelf. All right. Or a cheap bar, a dive bar, whatever you want to call it, that'll be on the shelf. Or go play pool with your friends while watching a football game. That's going to be in the room. It's not going to be anything to savor, and they're going to be making little cheap cocktails. This is what it is. Or you go to happy hour at your local Mexican restaurant, like over here. All of them got a happy hour, and you want to get a margarita. They got 2 for $1 or whatever. It's going to be this kind of stuff in the margarita. I mean, you know that. And they even use this bulk bar whiskey that they buy. I noticed a lot of Mexican restaurants use something called concierge. I've never seen concierge at a store, and I don't even think you can buy it at a store. Generally, it's just a wholesale. The restaurants buy it, and it's designed for making cheap cocktails. Concierge, you can look it up. It must be making tons of money because I see it at a lot of restaurants. Concierge. Now, if you say, "Oh, I want to get that 1800 tequila for my margarita," but you ain't going to get it on the. That's not going to be on the happy hours. Sorry, you're going to pay. It's not going to be 2 for $1. You're going to pay a lot more. Yeah, not answering is often enough to realize what side they're on, kind of like game theory. Right. Yeah, like you said, nothing wrong with them, but then nothing special. And sometimes that's okay if you just want to drink, right? That's right. I went to a Middendorf's restaurant a few years ago when Mississippi was playing in the Sugar Bowl. And I was there on the day of the game, but I was there at 11 in the morning. So a lot of people were driving from Mississippi to go to the Superdome, Louisiana Mercedes Benz. What's it called now? The Caesars Superdome, Caesars Casino Superdome. So they stop at Middendorf's, a famous place along the interstate, get right off the interstates, right on the exit. Been there since 1934. What are they doing at 11:30 in the morning? 11 in the morning. They're getting seafood and ordering Bloody Marys. And I'm watching because I was at the bar because I was getting mine to go, and I was watching, just kind of like quietly looking. And they're using Crown Rus vodka for the Bloody Marys. Crown Rus special Crown vodka with natural flavors. Wink, wink. Crown Rus special. That's like the cheapest vodka you can find. It's like really low end. But I'm watching, and the restaurant's using it, those liter bottles. And the first thing the woman said when she drank that Bloody Mary, "It's so good." Now, was her comment. "It's so good. You paid $9 for that." And it probably cost them 19 cents. Hey, that's fine. You having a good time and you thought it was so good, and they used literally the cheapest vodka available in Louisiana, and you thought it was so good. And that's a winning combination, ain't it? Yeah, my dad calls that people watching, not trying to be rude, just observing. Right, just observing. Because I was curious, like, what vodka are they using in their Bloody Marys at 11 in the morning? I'll say, oh, Crown Rus. Well, what do you know? Google that place. Looks good. I do like seafood. Oh, it's awesome. They're famous for their thin fried catfish. The catfish is so thin. It's like this napkin. It's thin, crunchy, not greasy. I mean, you think they're going to be open 92 years if it's bad? 91 years, sorry, if it's bad. No way, that place is super popular. And it can be so crowded. This tastes fine, but it's probably 49% filler, like Mexican vodka or whatever. But it's fine. I mean, it's got a little agave flavor. I'm not gonna keep beating a dead horse. They must know what they are doing to be open that long. Oh yeah, their onion rings are awesome. Their fried shrimp, fried oysters, stuffed crabs, soft shell crabs, coleslaw. Now they have a lot of German food because the owner is German. He used to own a restaurant in New Orleans called Bella Luna, but something happened and he wanted to close it, so he moved. Or I don't know if he moved, but he bought that place, and he didn't change the menu because he knew that would be a bad idea. Everybody loves their famous food, so he just added to the menu, added German food to the menu. His name was Horst. I can't remember his last name, Horst. And he opened the second one on the other side of the lake in Slidell, right close to Mississippi, and that place is always packed. How do these bottles compare to Jose Cuervo? Well, they don't. We're going to find out, because the next time, or at least by next week, I'm going to put this up against Jose Cuervo's Silver Bandolero. I mean, it's going to lose, but it may not be that bad. Now, against Jose Cuervo 100% tequila, the Tradicional, no chance. No way to win. It's impossible. But then Jose Cuervo Silver can't beat its own brethren, the Tradicional. No. So, take a bunch of low-end tequilas, let them battle each other, and you're going to find out it's all a washout. It's even. No winners, really. No losers. Are all right. It tastes very sugary. It tastes like sugar, honestly. Like you say, oh, sugar water. Yeah, but it's 40% alcohol, sugar water. Yeah, it's all right. My folks live in Nova Scotia. Lots of seafood there. Here in Ontario, we have it, but it's so far from the ocean, it's not the same. Yeah, I know. It's like going to Nebraska and getting seafood. Well, and yeah, German food ain't bad, just not as fancy as French food. Same with English food, really. Yeah, it's just like basic, you know. English food, German food is like basic. Sausage, bread, cabbage, but it's good. Potatoes, but it's not the best, you know. But it's enjoyable. But you know, I'm not too picky, honestly. I like most everything. But when I went to Nova Scotia, we went to a seafood restaurant in Truro. It was good. It wasn't great, but I don't have any bad memories of it. It's like codfish or something with some vegetables and potatoes. It was nice, but you know, like English style. Um, Fine. I don't even know what this is, but I'll try to guess. Same thing, little pepperiness, little vegetable, lots of sugar flavor, medium body, mostly dry finish, mostly dry finish. Yeah, basic, serviceable. What can I say? My friend David said, life's too short for drinking all that stuff you drink. I said, I know that. I'm trying to move up the ladder, you know, and I am. Not very quickly. All right. I'm going to say that this is the El Toro. Don't know how I knew that, but I was just a lucky guess, I guess, I suppose. But I'm going to count it because if I'd have gotten it wrong, I would have counted it as a loss. So 2-0, 2 wins, no losses. Doesn't mean much. Last comments. I have thought about this, like in Northern Europe, they really couldn't grow a lot of fancy stuff. Whereas the countries closer to the Mediterranean, they survived on bread, animals, and potatoes. Yeah, and then Northern, yeah, right. It's not like they had trains bringing the food up there. Or, you know, as trade developed over the years, then the food improved, I would imagine. And yeah, Nova Scotia is pretty old school. Louisiana would be a bit fancier for sure. Yeah, on the food, the cuisine. I had a 50-50 shot, which is good odds, really. So, Bandolero, I've had a few people say they've had it. Like Hector in Los Angeles, he watches a lot. He said he's bought it, silver and gold. So with nothing to be impressed with, but nothing objectionable. Many viewers have had El Toro because it's pretty common around the United States, especially at Mexican restaurants. So years ago, they used to run magazine ads for it. A lot of old advertisements for El Toro, but then Sazerac bought it, and that was the end of the advertisement. Sazerac, they don't really advertise much, if you notice that. They'll put billboards up around Louisiana for Taka vodka of all things. Every once in a while, they'll put up a billboard for like Eagle Rare or Buffalo Trace. You'll see that sometimes. But I don't know why they do that, because they don't even need to advertise those things. Those people, everybody's trying to chase those down. But for Taka vodka, those are everywhere. Any major highway around New Orleans, any state or United States highway, it's going to have a Taka billboard. West Bank, East Bank, you know, one side of the river, the other side, even out to Hammond, which is not even in the New Orleans area. There's always a Taka billboard on United States Highway 51. And it's been there. Those same billboards, I'm telling you, they've been there with the Taka vodka on it since I was like 3 years old. I can remember seeing it. I couldn't even read. And I can remember asking my mother, what is Taka? Well, now I could barely read. She said, that's a cheap vodka. Just remember those billboards. Mixes well, just add people. That's their tagline. Mixes well, ... just add people. Their alternative tagline is Taka. The flavor of New Orleans, the spirit of New Orleans. That's what it said. The spirit of New Orleans. That's it. Guess you don't need to advertise when you own most of the brands. That makes sense. If you own Southern Comfort and Taka and Buffalo Trace and Eagle Rare and Pappy Van Winkle and Weller and Hancock and E.H. Taylor and Benchmark and Wheatley Vodka and Hartley Brandy and Mim's Gin, which is in every liquor store around here, and Yukon Jack. Why advertise? You're about to monopolize the market. Do you ever really see Diageo ads? I never see Johnny Walker ads. I never see Crown Royal advertisements on television, commercials, radio. Why? I mean, people buying it off the shelf all day long. Crown Royal is the #1 selling whiskey in Louisiana. It's not even close. Jack Daniels, yeah, it's popular. Jim Beam, of course, it's popular. Buffalo Trace, you got fans that buy it. You know, they're more like bourbon people that's more into the culture of it. But Crown Royal wins every time. I mean, people buy that all day. I mean, people have, but no knowledge of whiskey whatsoever. What do they know about whiskey? To drink it. That's what they know. And I hear them all the time. I'm going to get some Crown. They got country music song. We was drinking Crown, you know. You don't need to advertise. Guess you didn't. Oh, nothing wrong with Crown, but I haven't drunk it for years. I can get Ballantine's Scotch for the same price. Yeah, Ballantine's is a lot cheaper than Crown. That's a Scotch, but over here, I can get Ballantine's full-size bottle. No, what am I saying? I can get a handle, the big glass bottle. You got to lift it up. $26. Beautiful Scotch too, I think. But yeah, you can do videos on Crown Royal. I mean, that thing. I think if they stop making Crown Royal, every liquor store in Louisiana, every liquor outlet would go out of business. It's unreal. It is literally unreal. And now we got Thanksgiving coming and Christmas and New Year's. You will not believe how much Crown Royal is going to be coming into these stores. They're coming in on pallets of like 80 cases on a pallet. It's going to sell like there is no tomorrow. Yeah, it wears the crown, like they say on their website. It wears the crown because it's the king. Yeah, it's the king of Louisiana. Can't speak for other states, but I'm pretty sure it's probably the same. Probably why they moved the bottling plant to the United States recently. Yeah, I know the Canadians were upset about that. But they bottle it in the United States, probably trying to dodge tax problems. You see, Canada has all these free things. We got free healthcare. But of course, on the other hand, the taxes are very expensive, very high. We're going to go after the rich people. We'll show them. Yeah, well, all you showing them is that they're going to leave. You know where Crown Club, Canadian Club is bottled? Canadian Club. You know where it's bottled? In Illinois. There must be a reason for that. Wouldn't you think? Canadian Club is made in Canada. It's much older than Crown Royal, and it's very popular. Why would they take the trouble to bottle it in Illinois? Oh, because they hate Canada? I don't think so. But they hate the taxes. So what do you benefit? If you're running the businesses out of your country, how have you benefited? What did you show them? That you're going to lose a bunch of jobs? And I tell Canadians, I say it's not free healthcare. All right. They're taking $10 out of your right pocket so that you can get $7 out of your left pocket. It's never even. They're taking $10 from you and you get $7 back. And you say, oh, that's free. I got my teeth worked on. I only had to wait for 6 weeks to get it done. And it was free. Really? It was free? I look at LCBO. I see the beer prices. I can get a 30-pack of beer for $21.49. $21.49. They have that there? Oh, dental isn't even covered in Canada when you're over 25. Another deal, right? They figure you're over 25. Nobody cares about your looks now. Let the teeth be crooked. Yeah, it's socialized healthcare, but it used to work a lot better. But wait times are brutal nowadays. There's always a trade-off. You see, people don't understand trade-offs. If you get this, you might lose that. It's not out the air. You see, a lot of people think the government gets money from the air. It's from the air. It's magic. Money is not magic. It doesn't come from the air. It comes from you. All right. Well, anyway, enough of that. So thanks for watching the video, even though it wasn't very interesting, I guess, with El Toro and Bandolero, but what the heck. Oh, in a couple of days, I got Montezuma coming into play. You say Montezuma? Oh, that's another low end. I know. And it used to be advertised in the magazines, but that's when Barton owned it. So Barton had it positioned as like a premium brand, you know, but Barton got bought out. So then it's like cheapo now. Take care, Ron. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, Joe. You too. Y'all take care. Now I got to go. I'm trying to motivate myself to go out into that cold and go walking. All right. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching, everybody.